Hi, I'm Castor, owner here at True Fitness Personal Training in Riverside, California. If you're ever in the area, I would love for you to stop by and work out in person, but if you can't, catch me on burn-along. So, a little bit about myself. I've had multiple injuries through my life. I'm almost 52. I've had surgeries on my neck, my back, my hips, you name it. I've been more than that. So I just want to let you know that in this pain and in issues, and your life doesn't have to stop. You don't have to endure the pain. And by learning my techniques, things that are widely known, but maybe you don't know about yet, I can teach you and maybe give you some specific little tips on how to help you. So I'm just going to kind of go over a basic foam rolling techniques, some balls, and what that's doing is breaking up the fascia and breaking up the knots in the fascia. And the fascia in your body are the lines of the connective tissue that connect us all together. And if there are knots and there's binding in there and you haven't been stretching and you've been really just sedentary because your back's hurt and you don't want to do anything, you build up these adhesions and then you're not able to move freely and they pull on the joints and then cause an imbalance in the joints and then cause the muscles to have an imbalance as well. Therefore, moving on, when you do start working out, you create more injury because those muscles around the joints are out of equilibrium, so to speak. So foam rolling is a great way to start loosening that up. So I'm just going to kind of go through my little routine and talk through it, and hopefully it all goes well. It's my first time making a video, to be honest with you. I work one-on-one with people, and so this is how I wanted to kind of get the word out. So first of all, it's a 3-foot foam roller. You can find them anywhere. This is another bigger ball. It's called the orb. I like that because it can get into the hips pretty easily. And then if you really like some pain and get in deep, the lacrosse ball. These are my favorite. You can do a lot with these things. So I'm just going to kind of go over the basics, and then in the future I'll be going over specific pain areas like hips or back or shoulder, things like that. So I always start with my calves first. And a lot of people have a hard time boosting themselves up. They either have wrist pain or, that's a whole other story, but they're not used to boosting themselves up. So if you're having a hard time doing that, there are ways around it, but if you can do it, this is the way you do it. And you're just going to kind of search and destroy, trying to find all those sore spots. And our calves are the first thing that meets the ground when we're walking, so they are the first muscles to encounter all that stress. So they can be very painful. You want to roll on the outside, the underneath, and the inside as much as possible. And if this isn't too bad or too painful for you to do, and you can progress, you can cross one leg over the other. And you're just going to boost yourself up and roll yourself forward. And I roll off to the side a couple of times back in that line. Then I come to the back part of the calf. And this can be a workout in of itself. And now the insides tend to be a little more sensitive to some people. If that's too hard to do, you can sit in place and just simply roll your legs up and down like this on the foam roller. You can still find some good spots. Sit on that for a minute, then cross your leg, just put some extra pressure on there, just little wiggles out, okay? So the calves can be culprits for back pain, the calves can be culprits for pain all the way up the kinetic chain. So working on those and then stretches that go along with these are going to really be a great benefit to you. So let's work on the hamstrings. The foam roller doesn't usually cause a lot of pain with the hamstrings for people, usually just to feel good. But I like to take my legs and roll them in a couple times, roll them out to the outside part. Where it tends to get painful is when you start getting to the IT band. We'll talk about that in a minute. But you're just going to kind of keep rolling there. It feels good. It's getting the blood circulating. It's like taking an old kitchen sponge and running it underwater and squishing it and running it and squishing it and cleaning it out. That's kind of, in essence, what you're doing to the muscle when you're foam rolling in that fascia. You're getting rid of all the yucky stuff. So sometimes you can feel a little yucky afterwards if you're detoxing, but that will go away. It also can be very painful to foam roll, and people don't do it because it's painful. Most of my clients hate doing it. But they all feel the benefit from doing it. Okay, we're going to progress to the bottom. So we're going to sit up on top of that foam roller. Now what I like to do is to rotate onto my elbow so I have some stability, and a lot of people lose their balance up in here. And I'm going to roll to that side, and I'm going to cross my leg up. I'm going to pull that knee up, and roll up and down. Now that is going to target that piriformis, which causes sciatica, a lot of pain in the back, the hips. So I just kind of roll and kind of pivot back and forth to where I need it. So everybody's a little different. You might feel it more by leaning this way, you might feel here, you might feel up top if you come up here and go, I've got a knot right there, it's just going bump, 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 bump. So trying to roll that out, okay? So let's pretend like I did the other side. You want to treat both sides always. Okay, so now I'm going to roll down, and I'm going to roll the top part of my back. I personally roll my low back, but it's not advised to unless you're under supervision and I can watch you. So I suggest starting it right below the bra line, your thoracic spine, up, right in there, okay? You're going to keep the tongue at the roof of the mouth, and that's a whole other lesson, but it helps close the connect chain for your neck flexors to keep your neck from hurting. If your neck does hurt and you cannot hold your neck up and if you're feeling a strain, you're going to interlace your fingers, place them behind your neck and support your neck. Don't pull on the head ever. Just let your head rest in there and keep the tongue at the roof of the mouth. So I just boost myself up and roll. And sometimes I hear lots of cracking and popping. That's okay. It's actually what I like. But I'm a poppy, cracky kind of girl. So there I am going to my low back. Just be careful if you try that. So then, if you have any kind of curvature in your spine, forward head posture, bad posture, anything like that, you can always just sit right here and just open those arms and just let yourself open up. Take a big inhale and let it out. Okay, and then we're going to access the quads. The meter man's here. The dog's going to start barking, so forgive me if that happens. Excuse me. Okay, so the quads, another culprit for a lot of pain in the hips, back. Maybe you've heard people talk about anterior pelvic rotation or tilt causing too much in here. It's a lot of it to do with the hip flexors, which is your quads and your psoas muscle. They get really tight, they pull you out of alignment, they make the hip joint less room in there, so now the hips have to turn in a little bit, so that causes another issue. So foam rolling can really be beneficial for any types of pains. You may say I don't have pain in my quad, but it certainly will address the pain in the hip if you do foam roll your hip or your quad. Okay, so you're just gonna get on top of it. Now, what I don't want you to do is to sag that low back down. See, I'm sagging. I want you to pull up, squeeze the bottom so that you don't have any stress into the low back. You're actually doing a mini plank. You're gonna use your elbows and roll up and down. I like to inhale as I go back. Exhale as I pull forward. It's almost like a mini plank here. You might find some bumps and pains. Breathe through it. This is so beneficial for you. Okay, and to save some time, you always want to get all the areas of your body. So I'm going to go to the side now. And this is your IT band. Your IT band connects to your TFL and your glute max all along the hip, and it can cause a lot of hip pain. This is the most sensitive area for almost everybody, hands down. I've gotten to the point where I can put both legs weighted and going up and down, which is very, very uncomfortable. But when you first start and you want to alleviate that, you can either put a towel around here to create some cushion, or you can put your foot on top and push down on that leg to alleviate a lot of that pressure. And then you're just going to roll up and down just like that. And so how you're going to roll is the front side, the side, and the back. You want to get the convergence of the quads and the hamstrings into the IT band. So you just want to nicely roll back and forth all the way down to the top of the knee, never over the joint, okay? So you're just going to go nice sweeps. You find a spot that's extra sore, feel free to hang out. Take your time there. And don't forget to breathe through it and don't hold your breath. Okay, so we've covered the calves, the quads, the hamstrings, a little bit of the glute, a little bit of the upper back. There are a lot more that you can do, but I'm going to leave you with that today. And we'll get into more depth some other time when we use these guys. All right. Thanks for joining me today.